That afternoon, Nani crouched by the curry leaf plant, sari hitched at her waist, bare feet dark with red earth. Deepa loved harvesting curry leaves, running her thumb down the stem, releasing the bright citrus scent. Nothing like the dusty powder her mother bought in London. Here, Nani said, pointing to the soil. Earthworms turned blindly in the disturbed earth. They make the soil rich, she said softly. Nothing wasted. Everything becomes something else. They walked toward the mango tree at the back of the garden. It dominated the corner like a matriarch, grafted from a cutting Nani's mother had brought when the family moved from India to Mauritius, part of the great scattering, seeds carried across oceans in pockets and sorry folds and memory. The fruit, orange gold, fiberless, dripped down Deepa's chin when she ate it. Summer distilled into sweetness. In peak season, the tree was absurd with mangoes. Nani pickled, made chutney, gave bags to neighbors and the temple. The tree was famous on their street. This tree, Nani said, palm on the trunk, she is generous. Too generous sometimes.
That was beautiful.
Thank you.
Uh, we have with us in the studio Kavita K,
That's me.
uh, author of Back and Forth, a prize winning piece of fiction of
Yes.
2,000 words.
Yes. Thank you.
Um, when I read this, I was inspired. I felt fat with joy. Uh, um, and I have a question for you.
Yeah.
Um, I know it was so fascinating. You came at this from two perspectives, two worlds, two trees,
Yes.
two, some are saying, authors, you and AI.
Oh, no, no, no. No, no, no. I think what you're picking up on is the way that my soul has always been split between two distant lands, two cultures, two selves, which is really what I was trying to get at in this story.
Two documents, one AI and one a Word document.
I mean, again, who's to say?
One, two, three.
This
This is the
is the
insufferable.
insufferable.
Welcome to the Insufferable Bastards.
Welcome to the Insufferable Bastards podcast.
We're the Insufferable Bastards.
Who's to say?
Who's to say? As with
I,
Jameer
I
Nazir.
actually, I read it again before we got on,
Mm,
and I'm not totally sure. I think she used AI less than old Jameer.
Yeah.
I think Jameer just went wild.
yeah.
Jameer
Yeah.
was like, he was drinking that night, having some whiskey,
Yeah.
and he was like, I'm just gonna this paragraph, this paragraph, this paragraph. It's all AI.
Right. Yes.
And I couldn't finish it for that reason, but I could finish Kavita's because I could feel there was a basic concept there that she had probably come up with in her own brain.
I think probably she like tweaked it with AI. But I don't think it was wholesale written by AI. But it was interesting to see where there were similarities, like little quirks of the prose that seemed to be common to both of them, and I guess perhaps to like AI. I saw people on Twitter noting that AI does this thing where it assigns, human sensations to inanimate things aptly enough, right? And so that comes,
Anthropomorphizing everything.
Yeah.
Everything holds other things.
Yes.
And then also this thing with permission. There's always this thing about
Right.
permission. She didn't need permission.
As if beauty needed permission, right? Is the line. And just like the particular, none of these things are like exclusively AI, right? Like authors use these things all the time, but there's something about the way it keeps coming up in these stories like the fragmented
Yes.
sentences and it's but like it similar to like we were saying with the Neo Zero story, it doesn't even really matter. It's just bad. Like the fact is, AI, not AI, it's a shitty piece of writing. Um, and this, yeah,
Yes. And so blatantly, patently so
yeah,
that it's just shocking. I don't care. I don't care about the AI aspect of it.
right.
It's just soul killing kind of writing, and very lazy. And actually, you noted that the Commonwealth came out and denied use of AI in all of the stories.
Yeah,
They did an investigation.
I'm very curious what the methodology is there.
Yeah,
Like
yeah. I'm sure it was strong. I'm sure
right.
it was comprehensive.
I mean, like the internet sleuths are using this thing Pangram, which I don't know how like watertight that is either, but it seems to like when you run these stories through Pangram, it says, yeah, this was written with AI. Um, so I don't know what the Commonwealth Prize was using, if anything, to they.
I just don't need that stuff. I mean, you can tell within a sentence. The very first sentence is so kind of silly.
Yeah,
What
yeah.
was it? I have it right here. It was
The tree
the tree
knew,
knew before. Yeah, the tree knew before she did, and it waited.
right? And you
And
have
then and then
the
this one
dash. You
this
have the M dash right there, the telltale M
right.
dash. Yeah,
Yeah, the first time a lot of M dashes actually
yeah,
here.
a lot.
Although I'm a total M dash
I
supporter, I've
am
always loved M
too.
dashes.
I'm not going to stop using them just
Um,
because it's an AI thing now. Like I'm going to stick with my
Not at
M
all.
dashes. Yeah.
Not at all. But then she says the second sentence: Deepa would realize this later when clarity returned, if it ever did.
That
Now
doesn't
that is just a confusing
It
sentence. It
doesn't
does
make
not
any
make any
sense.
sense.
It makes no sense. Would she realize it? Does clarity return or doesn't it? Like
If
if it
exactly
ever
if it
did.
ever did. So what? Where are? It's just confusing right off the bat.
Oh, we have
And
to okay, wait. Note to self, edit this because I think Kurt wants to come in and say hello. I hear
I wish I had Arthur down here at these times, but he's already in bed.
Oh, okay, wait. No, he's been taken away. I heard like a wailing and then it
No, I
and then
I
it
totally heard him. Yeah,
faded. I mean, whatever, we can keep this in. That's fine. Um
sure if you want,
so
but
I mean, but okay, but it's like the first time I read this story, I stopped actually, and then you told me you're like read the whole thing through. It's short, but the first time I read it and we reach the flashback, right, and smelled
yeah.
impossibly the sharp green citrus of curry leaves. Mauritius, 1999. Like I started laughing out loud. It's just corny. It's so
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
so cliched. It's so corny. And then it
The curry
just
leaves. She has to throw in the curry, which I'm sure I actually mentioned this, and a lot of people on Twitter were like, I got a lot of Indian followers because I was like, she had to mention curry.
right,
You know what I mean?
right.
It's like such a stereotype.
It's
It's
yeah,
such a huge stereotype.
right.
And I'm sure Indian people, Indian diaspora, Indian Americans are very tired of that stuff. And there it is,
It's like we were saying
just kind of insulting.
it is. And in the previous episode, we were talking about the stories that have the giant pot of culture bubbling on the stove to let you
Yeah.
know,
Oh man, this is such a culture
it's
pot.
such a
This is such a
bubbling pot of culture.
boiling, churning pot of culture. Oh my god! But with a little dash, a little spice of corporate America or corporate UK, where she
Yeah,
wants to get this promotion. That's really the thing that made me laugh. Was it's all about a promotion? She's crying against a tree for a promotion, and
right.
I just couldn't stand
And
it.
it's
I
get
just could not stand
and
it.
it's
Couldn't believe it.
yeah, and it's just given this like ponderous quality where she's flashing back to Mauritius and what she learns about like our relationship to the trees and honoring the trees and like taking this like the connection with the natural world and history and ancestors and whatever, and it's about a fucking promotion at her corporate job. It's like
like resentment fiction. That's what it felt like.
yeah, and like the implication that she's put in all this time and been unjustly passed over,
Oh, yeah,
maybe
yeah,
because
yeah.
she's a woman, maybe because she is South Asian, maybe because she like goes to the park and cries against trees. Like, maybe that's why she didn't get the promotion.
You think they call her in, Kavita? I need to talk to you again.
Yeah.
We saw you through the window crying against that old crabby apple tree that we're going to kill because it's dead. We need you to stay in the office for lunch from now on, please. Thank you, Kavita.
I mean, they're worried she's unstable, like.
Yeah, that's what she feels like, honestly.
Unstable.
She feels like an unstable, like a borderline personality.
Yes.
But here, I just want to mention one more line that I loved. This is all in the first few paragraphs. And by the way, for everybody's information, in case you're not up on this, it's the Harper's Bazaar Fiction Prize that just came out a couple of days ago. Harper's Bazaar has nothing to do, literally nothing, with Harper's Magazine in America.
Nothing.
Harper's Bazaar is a fashion magazine.
Yeah.
But let me just say this line. She sat on the bench opposite. The wood damp through her trousers. The wood damp through her trousers. I keep reading that. I almost went to bed last night. I was repeating in my head. I was like, the wood damp through her trousers. The wood damp through trousers. What does it mean? What does it mean? The wood is damp. The trousers are damp through the trousers. I am so,
Yeah.
All it takes is just one line like that, and you just reject it. I mean, I've been a reader for magazines before. You see something like that, you put it away.
Right.
You don't even continue reading.
Right.
Because it's just not up to a certain standard.
It's yeah. Oh God. I mean, I'm kind of at a loss for words because it's just so bad, and I wonder how many people submitted to this prize. I'd be curious to know, like, because I mean, I'm not familiar with it. I assume it's UK writers are submitting to this, but
I read into it a little bit. It's been around for a while. Harper's Bazaar has been around for like 150 years.
Yeah,
they've been publishing fiction since the 1800s. They say they've published Virginia Woolf and Waugh and Auden and all these people. So they have some kind of purchase on tradition.
Yeah.
So I was ready to dismiss it because of the nature of the magazine, but I was like, okay, so they're claiming this tradition. Well, then they should have decent editors and people who can actually pick quality writing, because this is really something for somebody. They get their name out there. Turns out this woman is like a professor. She's already at Leeds University. What is she doing? You know what I mean? I think it's okay for a professor to write a book, but I'm a little bit like, why would you enter a contest like this? I mean, this seems like an opportunity for young writers to try to get their name out there.
Right.
And then why would you, I mean, I guess that's okay ultimately. I guess anybody can enter, but it's like, and then use AI to brush up your writing. It just seems it's so offensive, really. It's so like,
that's the thing.
Dirty.
It is offensive because I'm sure there are excellent writers who submitted stories to this. Like, they had to have some decent stuff to choose from. I can tell you,
I'm sure there was many stories better than this one.
And it feels like, I think it's interesting that both this story and the other winning, the Commonwealth Prize story by Jamir Nazir, they're both writers who are writing. So Jamir Nazir is from Trinidad, I guess, if he's a real person, and the story is set in Trinidad. This writer is, I don't know anything about her life, but the main character is originally from Mauritius. And I just wonder if there's something like really cynical at play here in terms of the judges making their decisions and, prioritizing diaspora writers and these sort of, representation kind of considerations, and really overlooking the fact that the stories are pieces of crap, which I think is also
I think that's
offensive to writers. It's offensive to writers.
It's offensive to good writers and good readers who want to hear these voices. And underneath it all, I am definitely for the many voices sort of liberal theory.
Absolutely.
Of art. I want more voices. I want more people from all parts of the world. I want, it doesn't matter your background. I would like to hear from you if you're a serious person. And they really don't do themselves any favors when they just pick somebody because of a platform, because of a identity, background, um, pleasing mix that they happen to be looking for, or something. And look, I don't know if that was their motivation. I don't even really care, because it's just like but it's like it harms their overall project in time, because then people start to cynically look at these diaspora writers. They have
Yes.
these kinds of incidents in the back of their head. I mean, what, it just feels self-defeating.
And that the stories chosen are always these like really cliche, what we were talking about last time, like the smell of jasmine, the smell of curry leaves, and they're just like these, it's just trite. And
Stereotypes.
yeah, and I would think like,
Right,
I
stereotypes, yeah.
think writers they want to write just interesting stories and not have to serve up their identity to you on a platter. And I don't know, I mean, like, as I was reading this, I was just like thinking to myself, oh, I would actually love to read something set in Mauritius. I have never read anything by a writer from that country. I don't know anything about it. That's real. I know it's like a small island off the coast of Eastern Africa. That's all I know. So
Yeah.
I would love to be transported and learn something, and like, hear from a writer.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely, yeah.
So
And if our listeners from Mauritius want to comment, please
Yeah.
reach out, because
Yeah.
we have a few, possibly a few dozen.
That's amazing.
And we have writers. I mean, I keep saying writers, listeners from Trinidad also. And I looked through the list. We have listeners in 86 countries around the world. Can you believe that?
I kind of can't.
So,
That's amazing.
So it's just kind of a cool thing to note. But we want to hear from you if you're from Mauritius and you have an opinion on Kavita K's story in Harper's Bazaar.
Yes, please.
Yeah, I found myself. I'm glad I cooled off for like a day, because I just was so aggravated by this.
Yeah.
And not because you and I aren't Commonwealth. We can't submit to the Commonwealth's
Right.
competition.
No.
You and I aren't in the UK, so therefore we wouldn't be permitted to submit to the Harper's Bazaar. It's not about the Harper's Bazaar competition. It's not about like me and my ability to get ahead in these journals and competitions. It's ridiculous. That's not what I'm thinking at all.
Right.
It's exactly what you said about, like, I would actually like to hear a good poet, a good author from Mauritius. I just never think about Mauritius. I would like to know more about it. It would be interesting to pick up a book from that part of the world and really be kind of thrilled by it.
Yeah.
Somebody from Trinidad, like a Nepal. I mean, he's a fantastic writer. We have him, but like, we could always use a few more, But instead, because they rely like a crutch on this pot of culture stuff, all of us are robbed, including the people who win.
Yeah.
Because now they have to go around kind of with their heads hanging down, feeling a little ashamed of their win. They probably didn't think they would win, which is why they used the AI.
Right.
I'm sure they had this moment late at night where they're writing the story and they're like, oh, I'm having trouble with this, and I got an appointment tomorrow, so I'm just going to throw some AI in here.
Totally.
And then they won.
Yeah.
And now I'm sure they're
like,
timid
oh
about
shit,
it. And
like,
you know what I mean? Like I could not feel good, even if I was a pro AI guy and I was like, screw this, I believe in it. I would still feel like, oops, I stole a win from somebody who actually put in the
time.
Late nights. Put in the time himself on it.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
But
so the judge for this contest was Ruth Ozeki, and I feel like this is very embarrassing for her. I've read one book by her. She's Japanese American, and she's published several novels, and I think she's fairly respected. I read one novel by her. It was called A Tale for the Time Being. I read this many years ago. I can't really speak to like the quality of the prose because it doesn't stand out in my mind, but what I remember from this story is that it had kind of two like plot threads, but one of them was about a teenage Japanese girl, Japanese in Japan, who is a victim of severe bullying. And this is a real thing. Like, Japanese kids, when they bully each other, it's beyond. And And
I've heard some
there's
of these stories.
yeah,
My
and
wife taught in Japanese schools for about a year.
your wife and I both did. And yeah,
Yeah.
and that's why I was drawn to the book, because I lived in Japan for 3 years and I taught in a high school there, and so I was like, oh, teenage Japanese, I want to read this. So I do remember there's this scene where her classmates, like the bullying escalates to this point where she comes into school one day and her classmates are holding a funeral for her, where they're pretending with great commitment that she's dead. In other words,
Oh my God.
they're saying to her, kill yourself, right? And they go through the whole funeral, and there are teachers who are participating in this.
Yeah.
And this is based
I heard about that
on
too.
this is based on a real thing that happened in Japan. And so, I mean, that I can't say much else for the book because it's been a long time, but that scene really stayed with me. And to me, it what it indicates is like Ruth Ozeki is a writer who understands like crafting a story that has real stakes and real emotional depth and like real conflict. And so, what were you thinking choosing this as the winner?
Well, here's what she said about it. She said, "There's no formula to a successful short story." This is Ruth Ozeki, but whatever its strength is going to be, whether plot, narrative voice, or poetic language, it must be established quickly, not necessarily explicitly. Subtlety works too.
I mean, what is subtle about
She
this
said-
story?
Ozeki also observed that the story evokes with precision and power two parallel worlds, two trees, two times, two countries, two cultures, two opposing. I think she had her assistant pick it.
Yeah.
because I agree with you. I looked over some Ruth Ozeki stuff and I was like, this woman's not. She's not a fool.
She's not.
She can write a sentence.
Yeah.
Like, she's not for me, but I read some of her stuff and I was like, it's like midlist fiction. It's totally fine.
Right.
It's not a mess, you know,
No.
as a lot of more fiction these days seems to be. She knows, she's aware of what's going on.
Yeah.
She knows this isn't good.
Yeah.
She knows this isn't good. I mean, come on.
She has to.
I was so. I mean, it doesn't really matter because you have to balance the fact that the Commonwealth Prize and the Harper's Bazaar Prize like just really don't matter in the long run.
Yeah.
And you know they're not it's not like winning the Nobel or something.
Right.
But it's just like it's really aggravating that we've got to this place. It feels like rot and like fungal rot has spread to such a degree that it's getting into these corners, and it's like, well, we better do something about it now because it's going to get really bad if we don't.
It's just that it's
pay attention to it.
You're right. It feels lazy and cynical, and I think it's also just revealing to writers who have been trying maybe to get published in journals, prestigious journals, or to sign with agents or whatever, that the people who are, I don't know, the word gatekeepers is kind of overused, but it seems a bit dramatic, right? But like the gatekeepers are the people making these decisions. Like it's an, emperor has no clothes situation. Like it's just, they're letting this stuff through.
I think we need like harder gatekeeping. I don't know.
No, I mean,
need better.
Right. That's yes, exactly.
You know what I mean?
Like the people
the
making the
I've
decisions are fools. Like we need, yes, I want better.
Yeah.
I want more discerning, more discriminating, maybe a little bit like brutal gatekeeping.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. I remember the magazine I read for once, I was with this other, she was like an assistant editor or something. Can't remember, but we had to talk about some of the stories, and she was like, well, we don't want to be too gatekeepy about this stuff. And I was looking at her and I was like, you are one of the editors.
Mm-hmm.
You are a gatekeeper. It's like, there's this like double think that goes on.
Right.
Because what are you going to do? You're not going to gatekeep your journal. You're not going to gatekeep a competition. It requires, I mean, the gatekeeper is a silly word. It just means you're an editor.
That's right.
And you are taking responsibility for choosing good fiction and putting it in front of other people and giving good writers an opportunity to get their voices heard.
Right. Right.
Which everybody says is so important, and it is important, but it's like, embrace it. Yeah. You're in a position of minor authority, and you have a responsibility, not just to yourself and to your magazine and your writers, but to literature.
Yes.
You know, you may discover somebody who's later going to write a book and they're going to say, the first people who published me was such and such magazine or such and such
That's right.
competition. And that is a, you know what I mean? Like you're an influence in their life.
Yes. It should be,
Take it seriously.
yes, it should be taken I mean, I think people are maybe using the term gatekeeping in such a way to mean like, oh, I don't want to overlook people or deny opportunities to people who are, you know, not connected or unknown or whatever, which is like, yeah, for sure. But be discerning, right? Like be exacting in
Or be honest.
when it comes to the quality.
You don't even have to be. Yeah.
So
sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No. It's just very aggravating. But so like
I don't even think it requires this exacting, like these super high standards, highbrow standards. It's just incredibly obvious from the first sentence of both of these stories that it's not worth anyone's time.
Right.
It's just very clear. You know, you have to be almost half blind.
Right.
You know, like forget high standards. That's years away.
Yeah.
we just need your eyes open. That's all we need.
You don't even need to be like super widely read to see from these stories that they're subpar.
No, not at all.
Well, so anyway, so we're talking about like these two writers and their attempts at writing, I guess, diaspora lit, but doing so in a very cliche way. But are there like quote unquote diaspora writers? I don't know. How do we define that term? You were saying like if they're writing I don't know if they're writing in English or.
Well, the diaspora is just like, you know, you've left your homeland. You're in some Western country usually, or in any other third country. So like a Jamaica Kincaid,
right?
So that's the person I think of as like, she's quite brilliant.
Yeah.
I mean, if you read Annie John, it's such a short little burst. Like it's a thick vine, like very ripe piece of writing that is very easy to read. It's very easy to overlook the subtleties of it.
Mm-hmm.
But you read it once, you read it twice, you read it 3 times. It is a very rich experience. Mm-hmm. And all of her little books are like that. They're all like under 150, 200 pages. And she's just truly a kind of magical writer.
Yeah.
I know she's been awarded and everybody knows who she is, but she's just not lauded enough in my opinion. Like I've always thought, I really loved her very last book, which is like 10 years ago. Mm-hmm. It's called See Now Then, which is a very experimental, kind of strange experience as a book. Everybody kind of accused her of lambasting her ex-husband in it, and that wasn't really what it was about, in my opinion. But very creative, inventive, just a very incredibly talented person.
Yeah.
And I always look forward whenever she writes a book. She seems to write a really short one, like every 10 or 5 million years, whatever.
Yeah.
Like she doesn't have a lot. It's not like these big, thick postmodern novels. It's just like these little short novellas that they're just so thoughtful. They just really get you thinking, and they're very beautifully written, very simply written, almost kind of in an MFA style. Like she's not going to go pinching on you. She's not going to go long sentences. She's very focused and very
precise,
skilled.
Yeah,
very precise. So that is somebody that I think of. And then there's Nepal, who we've talked about before, who is, you know, Trinidad diaspora, writing in Great Britain. You know, great writer. I don't know enough about him. I haven't read enough of his books, but obviously like a towering figure in British literature.
Yeah.
One more thing I want to say about Jamaica Kincaid. She wrote a little book that nobody reads called A Small Place about Antigua, where she grew up. And she's just extremely, you really get a sense of her personality and her sense of humor. And it's just a really funny, thoughtful book about a place that, you know, just like Trinidad or Mauritius, you would never think too much about Antigua. Like,
right.
I don't know that much about Antigua. But she talks about the hellish kind of tourist industry there,
yeah,
the impact of the British Empire there, racism, racial issues there, but she does it all with just such a kind of a an easy hand.
Yeah.
And I just found it like a very intriguing. She's just an intriguing person with an
Yeah.
intriguing kind of background.
I need to read her. I need.
So I always tell people to read Jamaican Kate. She's absolutely brilliant. Absolutely brilliant.
I mean, her story Girl, which is like widely anthologized, I have
Yes.
taught that in many different contexts, and it always goes over so well. People are fascinated by that story, and they connect to it in all kinds of ways. I've taught it in a women's jail. I've taught it to teenagers. I've taught it to adults. Everybody connects deeply to that story. So I don't know what
Did you really? You went into like a max security prison and taught
not max security. No, I taught in the Westchester County Jail. I taught women who were there. Just like a brief like 6-week class. It was just a pretty interesting experience. But yeah, they liked Girl.
I'm sure they did. Yeah. I went through a program here in Georgia just one time to teach Arabic, because I studied Arabic for a while in a maximum security prison in Beaufort, Georgia.
Whoa.
And I gave them a bunch of books and talked about literature. Also, like I gave them some Mark Twain and stuff, and it's a pretty fascinating experience, because it's like you go through these doors, these like security doors. They pat you down, then you go through another set of security doors. You go down this long corridor, and there's all these security and wardens and prisoners kind of shouting and things going on. And then you just go into this little schoolroom area, and there's this class, and then there's just like 12 students there. It's just like any other classroom.
Very wild.
Very strange experience.
Yeah.
Very strange.
Yeah.
But I think it's something that a lot of people should try to do if they can.
If you can.
It just was such a kind of I only did it one day. You do like a whole 6-week course, but like it was such a like somebody I knew was like, well, what if they like killed, and what if they were like mass murderers and rapists and stuff? And I was like, you know what? I just didn't really want to know.
No, you don't want to know.
I just kind of practiced. I was practicing kind of forgiveness in that moment. Like I didn't want to know what they did. These were just my students, and I was trying to give them.
That's
something.
right.
That's it.
And
it's something that's, yeah.
And they're trying to educate themselves and improve their life. Like, so who are we to be like, no, like I'm gonna get on my high horse and like deprive you of that? I mean, they're serving out their sentences. They're being punished, right? So like, how you want to just punish you need to personally punish them more. I'm actually mentoring an incarcerated writer right now through the Penn America Prison and Justice Program, and so it's amazing. Yeah, it's really cool. It's all through letters. And yeah, I'm not looking up what he did. Like, I don't need
correspondence course with Dr. Schubach.
I mean,
but how have you been finding it? That's pretty cool.
It's great. I mean, you know what? I don't know how much I should say, but if anyone listening, if you are writers who are interested in that kind of volunteer work, it's a really wonderful program, and I think they're always in need of more people to do it. And it's like not a big time commitment, partially unfortunately because the whole mail system in prisons is really messed up and slow. But I'm really enjoying it. I hope he's getting something out of it. I don't know. So yeah.
A friend of mine was a professor. He went in there and he taught Dante.
Whoa, that's cool.
Into the maximum security prison, and he was like, it was like no other class I've had. He's like, these guys were like, this is not fiction. This is my life experience.
Oh my god!
So he had this whole other like layer of understanding of the.
That's pretty heavy.
For sure, man.
Jeez.
Yes, I didn't expect to get into that area of life, but I find it very admirable and interesting that you do that. That's something that I really admire. I wish I could have done it more, but I only got one opportunity to do it.
Well, there's stuff. There's all kinds of stuff out there. Like, you have to find the thing that's a good fit for you. Like in terms of that kind of that kind of work. You don't have to go work at a soup kitchen or something if that's not your vibe. Like, do the thing that you feel like is a good fit. Um, if the
Yeah,
you
and
know,
people should contact Penn America about the program.
yeah,
And if you're in Georgia and you're interested, contact Dr. Sarah Higginbotham. She
great
runs a
name.
program between Georgia State. I know, great name, great professor. Um, and the Buford maximum security prison. So moving on here.
Yes.
So we also wanted to talk about what do you want to hit?
Let's.
Joseph O'Neill, just really quickly.
Yeah.
I like Joseph O'Neill.
I like him.
I did not finish Netherland.
Oh, really?
It was good.
I liked it.
In my view, it was too good. It was too richly descriptive, and I just found myself being like, "This guy is so talented.
Yeah.
I'm sure he's going to do fine."
Yeah.
And I just put the book down.
Oh, that's funny.
And maybe that was my bad. That was my maybe I made a bad decision.
Yeah, I don't know.
And maybe I should try again because that was a long time ago.
I liked it. I mean,
that's how I felt.
I think maybe part of it is just like all the New York details. And a corner of New York that I didn't know anything about, so he's writing, so I think O'Neill is Dutch, right? And his in Netherlands, I think he's Dutch, and then his, or maybe like Irish Dutch or something, and his protagonist is Dutch, and he is living in New York, and he strikes up a friendship with this man from Trinidad who they connect over cricket, and the Trini guy wants to start, I think he wants to open like a cricket stadium in New York. And of course, there are so many people here who are from countries where cricket is really big, like former, like anywhere in South Asia, I think, but also I think probably many, I don't know, any former British colony probably. So
have you ever watched cricket?
No, my understanding is that it's extremely slow. And also
it's slow as hell.
Yeah.
And those games go on for like 10, 12 hours.
Yeah, no, I'm
like
good.
They sit there and watch cricket for hours and hours.
No.
And hours. And they also play at New Zealand. And I had some New Zealand friends here in Georgia, and they were like, all right, Tyson, let's go play some cricket, mate.
Oh, that's good.
We went out there. And I'm a baseball player. Like
Yeah.
I played baseball in not high school, but like junior high school, up to junior high school. And so I'm out there like, I'm thinking Mickey Mantle, man. Like I don't know anything about cricket. So these guys toss this ball at me, and it's just coming at me like slow motion. And I just swung that cricket bat, and it went over the tree line.
Oh shit!
And I was just like, I guess, what does that mean? Did I win? And they're like, mate, this is cricket, mate. This isn't baseball. I've never.
You're not supposed to like knock it out of the park, right?
I guess you're not supposed to just whack it out of the.
Yeah.
I have no idea.
Oh my god, that's hilarious.
But it was fun. It was sure fun. But I didn't learn anything about the game. Apparently, it's very complicated.
It's complicated.
But it's a complex game. No idea.
Yeah.
But any other diaspora authors on your mind here? I see.
Well, I read Derek Walcott, but it's a very long time ago. But he was originally from St. Lucia, and he was a poet. And right. I read his book Omeros. I should be looking up how to pronounce things before we record, but I'm not sure. But it's meant to be, in some ways, it has connections to the Iliad. There's a character named Achilles. There's a character named Hector. But it's also about like life in St. Lucia, and then it's also about him. I think he taught in. I don't think he taught at Harvard. I think he taught at Boston University, and so then you have characters who are from St. Lucia. They're living in Boston. It's an epic poem. And he won the Nobel Prize for Literature. And yes. I remember very little about it because it was in college that I read it, which was quite a long time ago. But it was good.
I feel ashamed. I feel ashamed. I haven't read more Derek Walcott because I've read all about him from I can't remember where, but I know plenty about his background and stuff.
Yeah.
I should read these poems. I've been meaning to for ages, but I just haven't.
But it was a great class that I took. I remember the class was called The American Epic, and we read epic poems by Americans, and I guess people from former, I don't know, was St. Lucia one of the U.S. Virgin Islands? I'm not. Shows you how much I know. I don't even know. But
did you guys read Hiawatha?
No, we didn't. We
You
read.
didn't read Hiawatha?
No, we read. I'll tell you what we read. I can remember. We read Leaves of Grass. We read Heart Crane.
Not an epic poem, but that's okay.
Well,
I thought it was an American epic poem.
I guess he was using the term loosely. Heart Crane. We read.
Okay.
We read HD Hilda Doolittle. Which I remember being very difficult. Walcott. What else? I don't remember.
Sounds like a cool class.
It was a very cool class. It was very cool.
Yeah.
Well,
so
we wanted to talk also. We're just doing some hard left turns here, but that's okay. It's not going to always be smooth segues. But we also wanted to chat a little bit about Jewish literature. Jewish literature, you know. Like no one
Never
reads,
heard of it.
no one's reading Malamud anymore. What's that all about? It's
oh my god, I love it. Keep it coming.
It's a Shonda.
Keep I want this Alana full time every episode from now on. I haven't experienced this before. You're like I teach in prison. Also, I'm Jewish.
Also,
it's like,
very
oh my
Jewish.
god, this is so much new information coming in.
Oy vey. Well, I'll bring it out from time to time.
And then you're gonna give me the Long Island, like, is that?
Well, it's it's not. Hold on. I'm trying to do it. It's hard to go from the like.
Well, it's like it feels complicated for you because you're doing. You have the very Jewish thing that you can do. You have the very Long Island thing.
I can do. I can do the Long Island, which is like this. And you're just like a little exasperated by things. And
yeah, I love it.
Yeah, that's like not very far away from me. I can do that. I mean that's like over the top. But
so many Alanas, jeez, I can't keep track of them.
Well, as an American epic poet once said, we contain multitudes. So
yes,
I've never read Bernard Malamud. Have you?
Yes, indeed.
And
Malamud, and just so our listeners know, we have recorded episode 3, so we already talked about some writers that have not been receiving their due over the last 10, 20, 500,000 years, it feels like. But Malamud is another one that people really should read. Just another very significant voice-driven author who was huge in his day. It was like Bellow, Malamud, Roth. That was it. Right. That was what it was for a time. Everyone was talking about reading Malamud. Nobody reads him anymore. People still know Roth, but people still kind of know Bellow.
Yeah.
Malamud's just off the map. He's just off the map. Huge mistake. The Tenants is such a brutally interesting, inventive novel. Everyone should read it. Dublin's Lives, fantastic. He just has that very rich voice, and you feel like we talked about in good hands when you're reading him. His biggest one was The Natural. It was turned into a movie, but he has such much better novels than that. Just a very, really brilliant writer. And I have to say, I love the Jews. I find myself, I read Philip Roth, and I'm like, damn, this is great. And I'm like, oh, Jewish. And then years later, I'm reading Saul Bellow, and I'm like, Jewish again. And then I read Malamud, I'm like, Jewish again. It's happened to me a million times.
How does Malamud compare to Roth and Bellow? Like, what do you feel like distinguishes him?
Oh, I mean, at the time they were like, they were like the Three Musketeers of literature at the time.
Yeah.
I don't know enough about Malamud to really like give an assessment there. Like I think Roth is let's not get into the Roth discussion.
Yeah, no. That's a big
I think his best books are his most underappreciated ones, just like a true snob.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, but have you read have you read Sabbath Theater?
No,
Sabbath Theater,
I need to read Sabbath Theater. I do.
It's so good.
That's really dirty, that one, right? Is that right?
Yes, but his dirtiness is not like a Lars von Trier.
No. I know. Dirtiness. I mean, I read.
It's always really like rich with humor, and it doesn't come off like explicit to me. Really, it just seems funny and kind of silly. His
yes,
it's a very dirty book. The other one was, my other favorite one was, I can't remember right now.
The one I read most.
The one where there are two Philip Roths.
Is that The one I read most recently was The Counterlife, which was I really liked.
Oh, I haven't read that
Oh, I
one.
really liked it. And also like timely because there's some fucking heavy Israel stuff in there. But I really enjoyed The Counterlife.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's I think one of the like not as frequently read maybe.
Oh, Operation Shylock is the one I'm thinking
Oh,
of.
okay.
Great
No, I
book.
haven't read that. Yeah, so there's so many.
Also, the one absolutely nobody reads and which I possess a signed first edition copy of that's worth $200 to $400 is I Married a Communist.
Oh.
Now that's the middle one.
Yeah.
There's the American trilogy.
Yeah.
Which is
American
what's the
Pastoral.
American trilogy?
Right? American
Pastoral, and
The Human Stain. Is The Human Stain one of them?
Yeah, American Pastoral at one end, Human Stain at the other.
Yeah.
And I Married a Communist is right in the middle. No one reads it anymore. Great book.
My brother-in-law read it. He really liked it. I should read it. Yeah.
Yeah. Ask him if he wants to pay $500 for a sign.
Probably not.
I'm just kidding. But Bellow to me and to Roth is just like a star in the sky.
Yeah.
Just absolutely a demigod of literature.
Yeah.
Malamud, I just don't know enough to like assess. I just know that when I've read his novels, I've been like, wowee, I get it. I get why he was so big at the time. But then I'm also kind of, I feel mystified as to why no one's really reading him anymore. Just like some other writers we talk about,
right?
And we'll talk about in episode 3,
right?
He's just so. Is it because people feel almost offended by the bravery of the voice? Do they feel timid? They won't understand him. He's too intellectual. Do they feel? Because he's very like. I mean, if you read the Tenets, which you should absolutely read.
I will.
He's very like fearless. The the slurs come out. There's a Jewish guy writing a book in an old tenement house. The landlord wants to shut it down. There's a black guy who shows up, and then he's also writing a novel, and they get into these back and forths.
That sounds
they have this amazing
great.
exploration of like New York life, racial issues. It just beautifully, very mystically done.
Yeah.
Really fun, interesting, edgy book.
Yeah.
Probably still. And so maybe it's just like you and I talk about all the time. These people who are just kind of free with their thoughts and language, because that's how life is. I mean, there's nothing we can do about it. There are these ideas and people and concepts and things in life, and they're just there.
Yeah.
And so they should be a part of fiction. There was this whole cohort of writers who was just like, that's what I'm doing.
Right.
And then they got famous, and then the tide sort of turned, and then it's like we want to bury them, kind of in the past.
I think that's yes. We feel like we should leave, or not we, but there's an attitude that we should leave them in the past because there are aspects of their ideas that I guess people find threatening, but instead are labeling it as dated. Right?
Yes.
Well, another one I was thinking of. Have you read much Cynthia Ozick?
I read The Shawl.
Nah,
I think she's brilliant.
Nah, The Shawl is okay. That's like the least. That's her Holocaust story. It's the Holocaust, and like everyone, like, I mean,
okay.
No, it's.
I'm willing to be.
It's brilliantly
schooled here.
I mean, it's brilliantly written. It is, but she's so funny, and like that does not come through in The Shawl at all. But you should check out the Puttermeister Papers. Or maybe it's Puttermeister, the Puttermeister Papers, which is kind of like a book in 5 stories. And the central character is this one, Ruth Puttermeister. And it's very New York. And like at one point, like, and it's just, it has this like fantastical quality to it. One of the books, she creates a golem and it goes and does her bidding for her. And in another book, she becomes mayor of New York City somehow. And she just has these like escapades, and it's so funny. And then the ending is there's this really like shocking, violent ending to it, but it's also like transcendent. You should read it. It's great. But she's got a lot of really brilliant books. Another one that I really liked is The Cannibal Galaxy, which is couldn't be any more different. And it's I won't say anything more. Just check them out. But I wonder with her, like, okay, so the last time I heard anyone or saw anyone talking about her, like on literary Twitter, I think she maybe had a new novel out. She's still publishing. She's in her 90s.
She's
And
almost 100 years old.
yeah,
She was born in
it's
1928.
incredible. And people were talking about it, and they were saying something to the effect of like, oh well, unfortunately she's a Zionist. And it's just like one of those things we've talked about, like, who fucking cares? Who fucking cares? Like, what do you think a 90-something-year-old Jewish woman is going to say about it? Like when, you know, like her connection to Israel is so different. Like she was alive when the state of Israel was formed, and the Holocaust was fresh in people's minds, and like
she was like in her 20s when it was formed.
Like of course she's gonna have a completely like different outlook on it. Who fucking cares? Just read her books, like, or don't read them if you're a baby and you can't handle her, you know, like Jesus Christ.
No, I completely agree.
Yeah, it just makes me mad. But she's wonderful. I love her. She's brilliant.
You know, I'm not gonna deny it's disappointing to find out the views of some of your favorite writers.
Sure.
Like, but it was disappointing when I was like 18. You know what I mean?
Right.
As an adult, it doesn't bother me anymore because I'm like, well, crapshoot if I want to find out about this guy or gal, because like I may be disappointed, but I don't really care because if the book is good, that's all that matters. What are we actually talking about? We're talking about novels, right? We're talking about poetry now. We're not talking about somebody's personal political views. No, and shit.
I mean, she's not writing books on Israel. She does write nonfiction. Sure, it's brilliant nonfiction. I mean, she wrote. She has this essay I love on being labeled a woman writer and her problems with that, and it's fantastic. Like she's just a gem, and I don't know. You're really missing out if you're not going to read her. Because she,
as a woman writer, how do you feel about that?
As a woman writer,
as a lady writer,
as a woman writer from Long Island, so I feel like, you know, like that's your business. I don't need to know everything that's in your head. You know what I'm? Yeah, that's why.
Yeah, you ladies, you scribbling ladies, get back in the kitchen. Come on, give it up. You also mentioned Gina Berriot.
Yeah, she's great.
Is that how I pronounce her name?
I believe so.
Wife of... I purchased one of her books. It's sitting right next to me because you brought her up. The Descent. Have you read that?
No, I have not read any of her novels. I've only read her short stories. I have this collection called Women in Their Beds, which is, I believe, like 35 or 36 short stories. They are unreal how good they are. And I've been told like that's what you should read by her. Like her novels are good, but the stories are really what is, you know, just like what are just mind-blowing. I love, and she has the ability to inhabit so many different lives and perspectives.
Mm-hmm.
And I think just really should, if you read her stories, it really should put an end to you. How do I phrase this? It should put an end to
an end to you.
No, an end for you to the questions of who
is this AI?
owns.
Are you AI?
I'm trying to say the debate over who owns who owns whose stories, or who is allowed to tell what kind of story. Her work and her ability to inhabit all these different lives should just put that to bed, because she can do anything. And so
all the great writers. That's what it's all about.
That's true.
You're trying to enter the lives and thinking not of the female people, the male people, the African American people, the Jewish people. It's just, you know, you're trying to enter a character who has these backgrounds, and you know, these aspects to their lives. And it takes creativity and the famous empathy to do this.
I've heard of it. I've heard of that. Yeah.
I'm so tired of these words like gatekeeper and everything, like all this stuff, like community. Yeah. I hate the word community. I'm part of the community, the diaspora community. It's like, buzz off, dude. Like we all are born, live, and die alone. I'm gonna get Donnie Darko on you here, but
that's right. But that's how it is. Yeah.
It is.
Sorry, I'm sorry.
It's so funny.
Yeah.
All you can do is laugh. Do the famous Bello laugh when things get... You know, Bello used to drive by people, like young people who were out. He was like 90 years old, and they were out picnicking or jogging, and he would yell out his window. He'd go, "Death! and he would laugh. He'd go, "Death!" Because he just wanted to be he wanted to be a memento mori to these young people.
I love
So they'd be out there
him.
in their spaghetti strap tops eating ice cream, and he'd go,
Oh
"Death!"
my god. I love him.
You
I'm
know,
gonna
he's
do
a funny
that.
guy.
I'm gonna do that. I can't wait till I'm old enough to do
So,
that.
also read Leonard Michaels,
Yeah.
which we'll talk about in the next episode a little bit more.
Yeah.
And then there's poetry.
Oh,
Now, do you read poetry? How do you feel about poetry?
I love
my friend?
poetry. I read poetry. I love poetry. Do not write it. Used to, do not anymore. But I'm a great appreciator. I'm a great appreciator. How about you?
Is there a specific poet you've been reading these days?
So I love this poet Kenneth Koch, Jew. He
Jesus. If I said that, I'd be anti-Semitic.
you know, it's like, well, you know, the famous Seinfeld episode where the guy converts to Judaism for the jokes. Like, I get it. I do get it.
Yeah.
So I love Kenneth.
How do you? Yeah, tell me about Kenneth Koch. How
Well,
do you feel about
I
him?
really
and
love
give
him
us a
because
little
he's
thumbnail.
funny. He's very funny, and I feel like humor is seriously undervalued in poems and poetry. And
Sure.
I really appreciate that. But it's, you know, it's funny, but it's not like lacking in depth for that at all. He's associated with the New York School, which was Frank O'Hara, John Ashbery, James Schoolier, and Barbara Guest. I don't know who those latter two are. I'm just reading
Okay.
now in the Poetry Foundation. They're known for their urbane wit, interest in visual art, and casual address. And they were
And their extreme Jewishness.
an extreme Jewish. Well, Frank, no, I don't know. I think just, well, looking at these names, I don't know who else was Jewish other than good old Kenneth. But
Any relation to the Koch brothers?
I don't think so. I don't think so.
Okay.
That would be
It's because it's Koch.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's Koch. I'm just saying
Just for our
Koch
listeners.
because that's how I've seen it pronounced.
Wasn't there a mayor of New York who was Koch?
Ed
And
Koch.
it was spelled the same
Ed
way?
Koch. Yeah, so it
Yeah.
might be Kenneth Koch. As you can tell, I really did a lot of research, but I just, like, I don't know. I don't do that much research on writers because I just want to let their writing speak for itself. So
I agree with that. Yeah, I think the identity and personality of the writer has taken far too much real estate.
way too much. Way too much.
It used to just be you look at the back, there was maybe a picture, you kind of wonder, and that was it.
Yeah.
And now you can watch every friggin' YouTube interview that ever existed up with these people.
Yes.
But anyway.
Yeah.
So I don't know really anything about Kenneth Koch. I'm very happy to learn about this, and he sounds wonderful.
He is.
And to everyone listening, thank you for joining us on this, as brief as we could make it, episode of The Insufferable Bastards. We will be back very shortly with episode 3, which is already locked and loaded, ready to go. And you know what? A lot of you writers, keep writing. Don't pay attention to this AI stuff, these silly judges, silly journals who do silly things. I had a journal recently who asked for a photograph of me in order to submit, so I just did not submit to him. I found that very strange. I have no idea. So just do not don't
very
listen
odd.
to these insane people.
No.
Keep going, keep reading, take reading and writing seriously. And we'd like to thank also our team, TNA Productions, and the Literary and Media, Arthur Duffy and Kurt Kilpatrick, and our producer, Eric Janikis. And now a reading of Ode to My 20s by Kenneth Koch.
How lucky that I ran into you when everything was possible for my arms and legs and with hope in my heart, and so happy to see any woman. Oh, woman, oh, my 20th year, basking in you, you oasis from both growing and decay, fantastic, unheard of 9 or 10-year oasis. A palm tree, hey, and then another, and another, and water. I'm still very impressed by you. Whither midst falling decades have you gone? Oh, in what lucky fellow, unsure of himself, upset, and unemployable, for the moment in any case, do you live now? From my window, I drop a nickel by mistake. With you, I race down to get it. But I find there on the street instead a good friend who says to me, Kenneth, do you have a minute? And I say, yes, I am in my 20s. I have plenty of time. In you, I marry. In you, I first got to France. I make my best friends in you and a few enemies. I write a lot and am living all the time and thinking about living. I loved to frequent you after my teens and before my 30s. You three together in a bar, I always preferred you because you were the midmost, most lustrous, apparently strongest. Although now that I look back on you, what part have you played? You never, ever were stingy. What you gave me, you gave whole. But as for telling me how best to use it, you weren't a genius at that. 20s, my soul is yours for the asking. You know that if you ever come back.